Mario, Luigi, and Game & Watch. And if you want to play as Samus, it's $1.
Oh.
Right? You want to play as Zelda, it's another $1. And stuff like that. Thank you very much. And so I think they'll do that. So you can play as that character and keep going. But if you want to play as something else, or because they'll use their IP to their advantage.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because it reminds me of their amiibo, right? Like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll just pay because you want that.
I know.
You're like, I want to play as Bowser, so you'll pay $1. So like, imagine if they had a Mario game. Here's a good example. They have a Mario game. It's just a side scroller. Right? Maybe it's the original Mario.
That's what I predict.
Right?
Yeah.
I actually don't think that they will re-release any games.
No, they said that they won't. But I mean the side scroll.
Okay.
They'll just make like a simple.
Oh, I didn't know that they said that they would. What a good prediction.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I think, imagine they have a side-scrolling Mario game, right?
Yeah.
And you pay a certain amount for it, and you get it. But then they say, hey, do you want to play as Bowser?
Oh.
It's an extra $1, and you can play as Bowser. And you'll get different mushrooms as Bowser, and different things like that. Or, hey, do you want to play as Link?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Right? And that is, because they use their IP to their advantage, and I pay $1.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, and if you do something that way, you don't feel like you're getting ripped off.
No.
Because you pay $10 or whatever it is to play the game, and you can play it all the way through, but then you can pay a little bit more to get something different. You're not limited, but it's a different game when you play as a different character. Now, the only downside to that would be, I guess, maybe development cost.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like, because you couldn't do things necessarily too different. But if it's a side-scrolling game, and you just give it, different mushroom powers, and you give the character some different abilities.
Oh, you're set.
I'd pay $1 for that.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound. Nintendo isn't historically very ad-based. I don't believe. Like, I don't see them doing other free games with a whole bunch of pop-up ads and annoying stuff like a lot of developers do. So that's good.
Yeah.
I really do think that they'll be more like Disney and more like Square Enix, where the games are fully developed with varying levels of price.
Because I think their biggest thing is their IP, and I think they have to protect that. I think if they abuse that, they'll abuse what keeps Nintendo relevant.
Exactly.
So no, I'm looking forward to it. I kind of, in a bizarre way, I kind of wanted them not to do it, to just stick with the consoles and stuff like that. But I listened to Tech News Tonight, I think a couple days ago, and they covered this topic. And one of the things that they talked about, and it was something that I immediately agreed with, it was the idea that, so I played these games, and the reason the IP is strong is because I played it when I was 8 or 6 or whatever I was, right? And now I have kids, and I'm showing them to my kids now, right? And so that the Mario IP is really strong with my two boys, right? But if you didn't play those games, right? So if I wasn't a Nintendo player, my sons wouldn't know Nintendo, right? They're gonna get smartphones and stuff like that, and in order for Nintendo to keep people interested in their IP, they will have to introduce it to a whole generation that won't have those touchstones. And even if you think about my own sons, right? They're big into it right now, but in a few years, what happens? Will they still be as interested in it? Because they're going to be going out with their buddies, and they'll have smartphones and Apple Watches for sure, or whatever it is that they have, right? But I just think that putting it on mobile introduces it to a whole other generation.
Because you don't want that, like, oh, you're playing Mario? That's a baby's game.
Yeah.
That type of thing that you get with other development characters, for sure. Anyway, yeah.
No, for sure.
And one last thing to note about that whole Nintendo development. that this whole segment, this whole section will be under the umbrella known as codename NX.
Well, no. I think NX is a new console.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is something I think that they did as well, is that they announced this partnership and stuff like that, said that they're going mobile. And again, this was mentioned on the podcast I listened to, but they also dropped that they were going to, that they were also working on a new console. And I think they did that just to reassure console fans. Say like, we're doing mobile, but don't worry about it.
Will still be on.
Well, that we're not leaving you behind.
Okay.
That we're still going to be doing these sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, it's funny because this whole research piece, I guess, got me really reading a lot about Japanese just development methodologies and really neat ways that they teach and the ways that they simplify a whole lot of stuff. So it was a great learning piece for me.
It is interesting to me that a lot of the Nintendo game development, it's still all in Japan. Mm-hmm. Like I know they do have additional development in America and Europe, voice actors and different things like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the, at least that I understand, a lot of the actual game development still happens at Nintendo of Japan.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which, when I was a kid, I always wanted to work on a Mario game.
I know.
I always did.
Yeah. Even if it was just like making silly sounds, you still want to
Silly sounds? Sure. Yeah.
They have great sound design.
I think Nintendo has amazing game design. I really, really do. Like this Mario, Super Mario 3D World or whatever it is. It's such a good game. I was just so impressed with the fact that I could my son and I, we played through all 8 levels together, right? And he made me promise that I wouldn't play without him and stuff like that. So we played the whole game from start to finish, and we beat it. And to me, it's so impressive because I don't know of any other games that I could actually do that with it, or there's very few that I could, and that were enjoyable. Like I enjoyed it, he enjoyed it, and to be honest, and actually, we would give my 2.5-year-old a remote as well, and stuff like that, and he would play along with this as well. But he wouldn't do anything. He would just always go in the bubble and float along behind us because he doesn't know how to press the buttons or anything like that. But it was so we were all sitting on the couch while we played this entire game.
Yeah. Wow.
So I think they do great stuff, and I'm totally a fanboy for Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
So as much as I don't like fanboys and stuff like that, for them I am, and it's again because of where I was when I first started using their stuff. So.
Well, I grew up as well. Like I grew up buying the NES, Super NES, 64.
I didn't have Super Nintendo or 64.
Oh, okay.
I know. I had a Genesis. Ooh, traitor.
Ooh. I skipped over the Dreamcast.
GameCube?
Or GameCube, yeah.
I have a game. GameCube was good.
I know. I went into the PS2 realm at that time.
Wrong. Although it it's just fine.
Anyway.
As you said that, I've just finished one lesson. I borrowed my friend's 64 so that I could play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I still don't really like Majora's Mask, but I loved Ocarina of Time.
Me too. Oh, so good.
I didn't like the traveling back in time so much. I didn't like redoing stuff all the time with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
I found that tiresome.
I just love in that game, the dungeons, the closet things, the treasure chests, the special under the cave kind of royal family grades, just the mythology and everything.
Did you like the second Zelda? Like Zelda 2 for the NES?
No.
No?
I love the first one, and I love the Super NES one. But the Zelda 2 was...
I loved that game. Everybody else didn't like it, but I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was so much fun.
It's hard.
I know,
That's
but
the one with I am error, right? Or I am error.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do, and I would get into dungeons, and it was tough.
It was, but
I got as far as like a glass elevator with a skeleton, and the skeleton kept coming after me, and for those who are diehard fans, they probably know what I'm talking about.
Well, again, it's all about a time and a place, right? Like, it's all about where you were when you played those games and stuff. Like, I love Dragon Warrior, Master Blaster or Blaster Master, Metroid, Strider,
Chrono Trigger.
But that was for NES, was it?
I think it was. I don't know.
I think it was later.
I'm getting very mixed up in it. But,
I used to like Uniracers for Super Nintendo. I played that at my buddy's place.
I was a big Yoshi's World fan.
Oh, yeah. Yoshi's World was the Mario game for Super Nintendo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great game.
It was.
I bought that on the Wii Virtual Console and beat it.
Nice.
So,
Memories.
I think that about wraps up this podcast. I think we've done our hour. Oh, I'm off. I'm going to focus on you. I think that's our whole hour. I did want to talk to you about the Pixel, the Chromebook, and stuff like that, but I think maybe we'll save that till next time. Unless you want to talk about it this time.
We can shelf it for next time.
Okay. Next time we'll do Chromebook and Pixel talk and stuff like that.
We'll put it on a 1.5 kilogram shelf. And shelf it for next episode.
That's approximately, or not approximately, how much it weighs.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thanks everybody for that watched the Meerkat. Hopefully it was enjoyable. We'll try to post this video up on YouTube when it's all done and stuff like that. I had a good time. This is our live podcast. Hopefully the sound is okay.
Barley Brothers.
There's Barley Brothers for all you. Oh, there are the tanks. Yeah.
And shout out to Manitoba Podcast Network.
Yep. The media nerds are watching right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, according to what I can see here. Yeah.
Hello.
So there's Benedict Rogers saying hello. And speaking of Benedicts, we haven't talked about Benedict Cumberbatch lately.
I think he's fully involved with his new baby, new wife.
Yeah.
I don't know if the baby's been born yet, but
Hopefully he still listens, but if not, don't worry.
yep,
He'll be back.
he will. We'll keep up to date with him on this next movie. And once he's started filming,
I'm looking forward to Sherlock season 4. I like Sherlock.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Just quick before we go.
Sure.
Do you ever love a show, love a movie so much that you actually just have to stop and be like, I can't watch anymore.
You don't
I
want
have
it to
take a
end?
break.
Yeah.
I did that with Sherlock. I'm still on season 2, the second episode.
Oh, yeah?
I just had to wait because I'm like, I don't want this to end. I have to savor every moment. Because now everyone else is on season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I should catch
You should do it. I get that way with books.
Yeah.
Actually, the last few pages of, especially, I love it when I'm a fantasy nerd, so I like trilogies and stuff like that. So when you get down to like the last book in a trilogy and stuff like that, I really like to savor that if it's characters that you've loved and stuff like that. So, but you just got to do it. You got to push through.
I know.
Just watch Sherlock and be done with it. Anyways, that's a minute. Oh wow, over an hour again. Always long in this podcast. Anyways, that's episode 12. We'll wrap it up here. Thank Gabe or something like that, because Pokemon's very cool. And you'll get Pokemon, and then you'll get, or let's say Mario Kart. We'll stick with Mario Kart. You'll get Mario Kart, and you'll get 4 levels for $8, right? And then if you want 2 more levels, it'll be $2 or $3. But it won't be that you won't need anything to beat those levels necessarily.
Yeah.
But if you want more, or let's say you'll get Super Smash Bros. Right?
Yeah.
For your Android device, and you'll be able to play as like Game and Watch, or Game and Watch. Well, no, it's like it is an enterprise play.
Yep.
Oh, now we've gone to audio only. I'm just gonna move this down here. I think largely it's a big, it's an enterprise play.
Yeah.
Because they can't just drop support for IE because enterprises use custom pieces of software and stuff like that lots of times.
Yeah.
For their intranets and blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
But I still think the fact that they're not going to call whatever Spartan ends up being, they're going to call. It's not going to be called.
No, I can't speculate at all. But anyway, they were going to film it.
I'm totally meerkatting you now.
Oh, we're being meerkatted by. It was going to film on BBC. They were going to start a new season with just the two of them. But they were like, nope, without Jeremy, we're not recording it at all. So, interesting move.
Yeah.
Gutsy, but I think shows like this are, it's all in the main actors.
Yeah.
So if they were like, nope, BBC, we're replacing with three of them, people will not watch, people will boycott it, and it'll end up being one more season and then just end. So smart move on BBC for postponing this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just a quick Meerkat note. We've got apparently there's 2 people watching right now. So if anybody has any questions for us, feel free to I don't know, tweet them to us or whatever. Not tweet, Meerkat them to us, and we'll try to get to them. So yeah, enjoy your Coke. I'm enjoying my beer.
That's interesting, and that's more or less everything about Tough here that we currently know about it. And it is a running story, so
He's gotten into he has gotten into problems in the past though. Yeah, by like saying inappropriate things, being filmed. He's a guy that likes to push the envelope, and that's what people love about him. Yeah, and so that's what people also love to hate about him. I don't know much about this story. He doesn't seem to be that bothered by it at the moment. So there you go. Jets scored. Yeah, 2-0 for all you. 78% chance we're going to get into the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
That high?
Yeah, that high. It just went up the other day.
Wow.
So that's good. Yeah, we've won 4. The Winnipeg Jets. When I refer to we, I mean the Winnipeg Jets. They've won 4 games in a row lately.
Oh, and do you know what's funny? A little pebble note.
Sure.
On that. During the John Doerr comedy on Saturday,
Right.
was a Jets game. During the comedy show, I signed up on my watch to receive a thing called pushover notifications.
Okay.
Through If This Then That. So it's more or less instant notifications on my watch.
Okay.
Through ESPN. And you can sign up on ESPN for what team you want, what sports show thing you want,
Okay.
MLB, NFL, whatever. So I signed up for the Jets to send me final score. So I knew on my watch, like midway through the comedy show, just kind of glancing at my watch, that Jets won that night. And once the show ended, there were a few people nearby that were wondering, and I just said, Jets won. As we were heading out, and it was awesome.
That's kind of cool.
No needing to look up something, no needing to, call a friend. It's just all right there in my watch. So, a win for me.
You know what was an interesting idea that I heard as well the other day? I heard this on the Tech Opinions podcast. I thought it was kind of neat. Just because we went back to watches again for a moment. It was the idea that maybe maybe some of these Swiss manufacturers, they don't need to make watches that are analog watches, or they don't need to make digital watches with an LCD screen.
Yeah.
They can make analog watches with some some sort of smart watch capabilities in it. So manage an analog watch, but one that would vibrate when you got a text message.
Yeah.
So it could just be a plain old Rolex, but it would have some additional wireless capabilities or something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Even like 4 little lights in the very middle, like a blue, a green, yellow.
That's a great idea. Yeah. You could program it on your phone, and then you still have the timeless sort of like Rolex features, but you get a little bit of a notification on it when things change.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a neat idea.
I believe in the earlier phases of Kickstarter that there was a watch that would do that. And I don't believe that it went very far.
Okay.
I think that it had 4 little lights inside it, and it would be like blue means a new text, and I think that...
You know what I heard today that I thought was kind of cool?
Yeah.
There's I believe it's a Kickstarter, and I could be getting the name wrong, but I thought it was called something like a condom. But what it is, it's for USB-C, and what it does is it's sort of a privacy protector.
Oh, it stops the data transfer.
Yeah. And so, but it's really, it's a beautiful idea because all it is it just doesn't have all the other wires.
Yeah.
It just has the 2 power wires and none of the data things.
Yeah.
So you go someplace, you just plug it on and boom.
Exactly.
And I thought that is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I thought it was called like the USB-C condom or something like that.
That is a crude name for those type of devices. Yes.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's being kickstarted apparently.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, I just thought it was such a simple, smart idea.
That is.
And Kickstarter is a great way to get something like that made.
Yeah, because I remember reading that there were fears around the tech community when USB chargers were put into airplanes because they were thinking that...
Well, it did happen. It did happen at a few places and stuff that people set up sort of like public charging honeypots and stuff like
rogue
that.
Charging station.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this alleviates that for sure. And
So-
actually, I bought a Kickstarter and it's called oh no, I don't remember the name. But anyway, it's a fast charger.
Okay.
And it charges my phone, my Note 3, in like an hour.
Really?
Yeah, it pumps up the amperage.
Does it hurt the battery in any way?
I guess long term, it might kill it.
Might damage the battery in some way?
But no, it's really, really powerful.
I read something else about fast charging the other day that I can't remember.
It has a limiter in it so that it doesn't go higher than the battery could withstand.
Okay.
So it kind of scans while it's charging and it'll go up as far as it thinks that it can.
Okay.
So it won't fuse out your battery.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else for us? I believe you do.
I do. So big news for Microsoft.
Yes.
In the tech community. Microsoft announced that Spartan will be adopted and that Microsoft Internet Explorer will be phased out in the name of the new browser will not inherit any of the faults of
Right.
Internet Explorer.
But aren't they? But they're still going to be shipping IE, right?
They will with Windows 10.
Yeah.
They are. So it'll be down the line for sure. But the near end of Internet Explorer is upon us.
It'll be a big enterprise. Like I think